you all hear that wind? It's been raining everywhere. Do y'all hear that wind? It's about to rain some more. It's about to storm. But we're going to cool down before it storms, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to get this cool down walk in before it storms, because it's storming. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy Wednesday to you, and you. Happy Wednesday, everybody. How's your week going? Leave it in the chat. Leave it in the hello. Leave it in the comment section. How your week is going? It's going good here. It's going good here. It's just raining. It's raining everywhere. It's raining from Texas to New York. It's raining everywhere. So I hope wherever you are that you're getting some rain. Especially you allergy sufferers. I hope you're getting some rain because it's much needed. I love it when it rains in the springtime. I love it when it rains in the spring because it just knocks all those allergens out of the way. It gives you a chance to get outside and enjoy outside. And believe it or not, you can truly enjoy the rain. You can enjoy the rain. Rain is just another element of nature that's meant to be enjoyed. As long as it doesn't get too bad, like, tornadoes don't crop up and all that. Rain is a part of weather that I enjoy. It cools things off in the summertime. It could be 80 degrees. It could be 80 degrees, and just depending on what's going on in the tropics or, what particular weather front it is, the rain comes through and it cools it off. It cools it off. And it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. I don't want it to rain constantly every day like some places get. But it really is nice when the rain comes through and cools things off in the summertime. And for anybody coming through here that sees this live chat or on the replay, let me know if you enjoy the rain. Let me know if you enjoy the rain. Sometimes when the rain comes, it's a gloomy day. It's just kind of gloomy, kind of dark. But then other times it's not necessarily gloomy, like today. Today wasn't gloomy. It rained, but it wasn't a gloomy day. It was really a nice day. Some days the clouds are so dark when it rains. Of course, those are usually when you have your worst thunderstorms and possibly tornadoes. But then sometimes it's just a good rain shower. A good rain shower. And it feels so good afterwards. It feels so good afterwards. It even feels good during the rain shower. It even feels good during the rain shower. So let you guys let me know. I think most of us prefer sunny days, but I prefer it whether it's raining or sunny, as long as it's not too dangerous. As long as it's not too dangerous. I see a few red birds. It's just like even the animals, the birds, these squirrels, they're enjoying this cool breeze. This cool breeze. I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are somewhere enjoying a rainy day. It doesn't always have to be sad. A rainy day doesn't always have to be sad, especially when we're in a situation where we need the rain. We need the rain. So if it is raining where you are, I hope it's not flooding. Because I know that there are some areas in the country that are experiencing flooding rain. The rain is flooding. Hello, Wysam. Is it Waysam? Wysam? Is it Waysam? Wasim? Thank you for saying something, dropping down into the chat. What's going on, fishing time? It's rainy, rainy, rainy. Well, it's not raining right now. It actually feels good. This wind is really high. So I'm just out here cooling down in this nice weather. Feels like it's probably about 60 degrees, but the wind is blowing and it feels so nice. Nope. These are some Nikes that I had, some cross trainers. And guess what, fishing time? I put them in a box and forgot them. I put them in a box and forgot them. So I was going through some things yesterday, and so I happened to go through this box, and my shoes were in there. And when I tell you, I was happy to find them because they're in great shape, like they're in really good condition. So now, guess what that's gonna do? That's gonna make me lazy about getting another pair. Well, actually, to be honest, the ones that I've been wearing for the past, 5 months or so, I went and I got another pair already. I haven't even, other than trying them on, I haven't worn them yet. So I have a new pair. But then yesterday, I was looking through some things and I found the box. I found the box with these. And I really do like my Nikes. I don't know how, I guess I just got the new shoes and I just kind of forgot about these. Because I threw a pair away. I had a pair of Pumas. I threw those away. They were kind of like, they said cross trainer. I didn't know Pumas did like the cross trainers and stuff, but they were very comfortable. And I had them for some years. So they got old. I threw them away. I bought some New Balance and I bought these Nike. And the New Balance got old and I threw those away. And I found Skechers. I found a pair of Skechers and they were really comfortable and they were walking shoes. So I got those, and those are the ones that I'm usually in. Haven't thrown them away yet, but I was pleasantly surprised to find this pair. Hi Menez, hi M3 Menez. Finally, I catch you live and in motion. Hi Lions and hi everyone. Thank you M3 Menez for coming through. I'm glad you caught me live. So they're like new. I had them for. I don't even understand how I forgot about them on fishing time, bro. I don't even understand how I forgot about them. I think because they were out of sight, out of mind. And then at the time when I was wearing these, I did get 2 new pair because I feel like you should change them like at least every 6 months or so, especially if you walk in them like a lot. Well, you can change them actually, I'll say once a year. Because if you got 2 good pair, at the same time, you can switch them out. You can keep them for about a good year. But unless you just do more than exercise in them or whatever, if you do all of your activities in them. So I had those 2. I threw those 2 away, and I had put these in the box at the time. I was kind of alternating between those Pumas and New Balance. And the New Balance got old, threw them out, had the Pumas, and when I was thinking, like, I don't have anything but these Pumas, I gotta get some more shoes. So I went and bought the shoes that you see me in like the past couple of weeks, the Skechers, for the past few months. Still not knowing that I had these in that box. And they weren't very old at all. So I found them and I'm happy. I'm happy. I found my Nike. I found my Nike walking shoes. They're the best shoes, y'all. They feel so good when you see. I can't start jogging because I just got the elliptical. I start jogging, I'm gonna get my heart rate back up. I'm trying to get the heart rate down. Okay. I love the Puma. You love Puma? M3, me too. I love Puma. I've always liked Puma. I'm not big on tennis shoes, like having a particular pair, but I do love New Balance. Hey Vaughn. Vaughn said, hey, Lions. M3 says, you be moving, lady. Fisher says, so fishing time, bro. I had shoes, had a pair of almost new shoes. And I've been talking for like 8 to 9 months talking about I need a second pair of shoes. And I had the second pair of shoes all along. Had the second pair of shoes all along. Y'all, you gotta skip sometimes. But see, that's when I cool down. I try to stay in a cool down mode because that's the purpose of it, to get your heart rate down. But sometimes I just feel like when I'm done exercising and I'm on here, I just want to start back like jogging, skipping. You don't have to jog, you can skip, you can walk fast. But then I've done that for the past 45 minutes, so I really do need to slow down a little bit. I need to slow down a little bit. But yeah, so I had an extra pair of shoes and didn't even know it. So now I know. So now I have the old ones that y'all been seeing me in for about 5 or 6 months. I have these, and I have a brand new pair of Skechers. I always bought Skechers for my kids. They were always good shoes. See, when everybody else was so stuck on Nike and stuff like that, I love Skechers and New Balance. Now I like Nike because Nike, they do make a good walking shoe, a good running shoe. But to me, New Balance is the best when it comes to like exercise shoes. When it comes to walking, that heel on that New Balance, it's the best. Nike has great heels too, but sometimes Nike can be kind of like really, really firm. And you need a good firm shoe on the heel, but you want it to have that a little bounce. And I found a few with the bounce with the Nike, but New Balance, they have always been great to me. What's going on, James Money 615? Now, with that being said, lately New Balance has been too busy trying to keep up with being cute. And so they've been making all these cute shoes, and they haven't been to my liking. They haven't been to my liking, y'all. New Balance been trying to catch up and be cute like everybody else. So it's been hard for me to find some New Balance. Hey, my chef finds wine. Hey, my last problem over here trying to find a part. I still can't find one. I'm just tired. I want to fight. What's going on? What's going on, chef? Y'all look at my little tree I always stop and look at. Look at it. The blooms. The blooms are no longer, y'all. No longer. Oh, well. What's going on, my chef? Vaughn says, Lions, do you hold your phone the entire time? Yep. When I'm out here, when I'm doing, like when I'm out here kind of cooling down, Vaughn, I do, because I'm not moving too fast. So, yeah, I'm able to hold it. Now, when I'm on my elliptical, I don't. When I'm on my elliptical, I pick the phone up, but most of the times I have it on a tripod. I put it on a tripod, or I fix it so that I can, don't have to mess with it too much. But when I'm outside, yep, I hold it the whole time. I'm trying to find a park in front of my house. Well, chef, but you said you just want to fight. So I need to know what's going on, because I might need to be coming to Chicago. I need to be making a trip to Chicago. I got folks in Chicago now. I might need to be do I need to be flying to Chicago? Do I need to be trying to fly to Chicago? What's going on? Chef, you say you want to fight. But what I mostly try to always do, Vaughn, if you're still here, or anybody who's listening, is talk. So I try to talk. Because if you can talk, you're doing good. And that's regardless. Now, sometimes I have to focus, because if I'm doing an intense workout, and I never do an intense workout on here, because when I'm working out, y'all know what I say. My warm up is my entree. My workout is my warm up is my appetizer. My workout is my entree, and my cool down is my dessert. So honestly, I've already cooled down, because this is when I come on here, I'm on for like 30, 40 minutes, an hour. And that's an extremely long cool down, y'all. So I come on here and I just want to encourage other people to move, to walk, to do something more productive Because a lot of times people say, well, this is boring. Well, maybe it is boring, but isn't sitting at home on the couch, on the phone, on the computer, on the laptop, isn't that boring at some point? It doesn't that become boring? It becomes redundant. It becomes redundant. And some people may say exercise is redundant, but when you exercise, you're exercising for health, for fitness, for mental health, physical health. It's just like chicken soup to the soul. It's soothing. You got my back? Yeah. Yep, I got backup. You know it. Let us know. It might take us a little while to get there. And you know how those flights are. They get delayed. But we on the way. Yeah, sometimes it seems like you might as well get in the car and drive. I'm talking about even if it's a 12-hour trip. Sometimes these airlines can be something else. These airlines can be something else. Hey, Brilliant. Hey, a Brilliant Blessed Mess. Hey, sis. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. How you doing? How you doing? But yes, I try to talk during the cool down. If it sounds like I'm out of breath, I'm not. I'm not. It's just that if this wind is blowing, it's just windy out here and it feels so good. And you have to think about it. If you're moving your arms, you're gonna sound that way. But now if you sound extremely out of breath, then take a break. Take a break. If you sound or out of breath, or you feel, definitely if you feel out of breath, take a break, y'all. Take a break. You know, don't let things like that deter you from exercising. You know, don't let things like that stop you. Now, if it's to a point where after about a week or two, you don't have more stamina or it doesn't feel like it's getting better, then just check with your healthcare provider. You know, I always suggest that you check with your healthcare provider before starting an exercise program or before restarting. If you haven't done it in a long time, before restarting. Most of them are going to tell you to start out slow, you know, and then build your way up. So I've always been taught in my training that it's good if you can talk, but don't talk if it distracts you from what you're doing. You know, don't talk. Bria says, hey, Vons. Hey, Vons. Hey, Vons sis. Vaughn says, I'm hearing your motivational talks. I like hearing your motivational talks. Thank you, Vaughn. I appreciate it. Vaughn, you gave us a motivational talk yesterday, and I truly, truly do appreciate that. You know, sometimes when we're on here, people are like, why is she always so positive? Or why is she trying to be so positive? Because nobody's perfect. And just because I'm only on here for like an hour. So you only see me for that hour. For all you know, I may need that positivity myself. You know? I may need that positivity myself. Because I'm only on here for an hour. You never know what I've gone through during the day. You may not know. I might be nail biting mad when I'm on here trying to encourage you guys to be positive. And guess what? Whenever someone is trying to encourage you to be positive, 9 times out of 10, they're trying to encourage themselves as well. They're trying to encourage themselves as well. For some people, that's the best way to encourage yourself, is to motivate and encourage others. So, you know, like I said yesterday, you get some people who will come over here and they'll act like, oh, they like it, and then they'll go off somewhere and try and start trouble because they're in chaos. You know, like I say, the misery lounge, misery loves company. And they'll pretend to be, you know, friendly, but then they'll leave. And because they have so much chaos going on, they don't want to see anybody be positive. They want to see you have some chaos going on too. When little do they know that most of the times, again, when you're trying to encourage and motivate other people, you're doing that to help yourself as well. So don't let anybody ever tell you what direction to go. And if you're a content creator, never let anybody tell you what direction to take your channel unless they're trying to do so to help you. You know, unless they're trying to do so to help you. And if they're trying to do so to help you, then nothing they say to you will be negative. If they're trying to do it to help you, then nothing they say to you will be negative. I don't know, y'all. I was hyper a little while ago. I'm trying to cool down. So I can walk a little bit more slow, a little bit slowly. Let's get some slow walking in. The goal of my dessert is to cool down, to get the heart rate down, take some deep breaths in and out, in Pull that air down, deep down, past the thoracic, from the belly. Release it out. That's the goal. And even when you're your most angry, and I will say this because people don't know, like, you can go anywhere on this app and find drama. This app, and if you can't find it on this app, you can go to that blue app, you can go to that white app, you can go to any other apps. But you, believe me, if you're looking for it on this one, you'll find it. So, and everybody likes a little drama sometimes. But what people have to learn is where to draw the line. Where to draw the line. And that's what gets some people, distorted and discombobulated, is not knowing where to draw the line, and also not knowing when to remove yourself. Even if you don't have to be a part of the drama. You don't have to be an actor. You don't have to be a character in it. But sometimes just listening to it, just watching it, it's like you should be able to feel like, okay, I need a break. Sometimes we should feel like I need a break. Even if it has nothing to do with you, have some variety. Have some variety. Provide yourself with some variety. Because if you just get so caught up in the drama and mess, whether you're in it or not, even watching it, and you can still support the people that you love. Because that's what I like to do. People may not be liking each other. They may be into it with each other. But what I do is if I like them, I like them. And I just go in, and I say hello. I say hello. I say hello to everybody and I leave. And some people even got a problem with that. It's amazing to me how grown people try to raise grown people. Grown people try to raise grown people that they never even met, that they don't even know. You got people in your family who can't tell you what to do. So what would make a grown person on the app think that they can tell somebody else what to do? I don't know. But you know why they feel that way? Because they see a lot of people who allow themselves to be led. They see a lot of people who allow themselves to be led. So once they get on this app and they are on here every day, mingling, and not even mingling sometimes, just watching. And if they decide to put out some content or they decide to do some things, they see so many other adults be led by one or two people until they feel like, well, hey, maybe I can get somebody to follow me. And it's okay being a follower sometimes if you're following somebody who's leading you to the right place. I put a post on my community wall that, everybody's not going in that same place. Sometimes you have to split off and go in different directions. Doesn't mean you dislike each other? No. Doesn't mean you don't like each other? No. Doesn't mean you're into it? No. Sometimes you need to venture out. It's just like when you leave home. You got siblings, right? Isn't the goal one day for you and your siblings to get out? You might have to come back home sometimes, and that's okay. But even then, when you do that, it's been established that you're an adult. Sometimes we get hard times, and sometimes we don't care following hard times, y'all. This economy is so up and down, and things are so expensive. If you have a big enough home, your parents don't mind you being home, because it's just like you being on one part of the house and them being in another part of the house. So the goal is to become your own provider, your own leader, to, self-regulate yourself. So why in the heck do people think they can come on an app, a virtual app, and just tell you what to do? I don't understand that. I've never understood that. Brian says, Vance, I love your live yesterday as well, sis. Vaughn says, that is true, Lions. I needed my live yesterday. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it as well. Yes, that was a great live. It was a great live because in a live like that, when a person can tell you what they've done that's wrong and what they need to do to change, or maybe not even, well, I guess it is change. I was about to say not even change, but to improve. But when you improve, that is a form of change. You're the same you, but you're approaching things in a different way. You're tackling things in a different way. You're approaching things in a different way. You're tackling things in a different way. Chef Finance Wine says, hey, brilliant. Vaughn says, hey, Chef. Chef says, hey, my lunch pride, how are you? Chef, I'm good. I'm finishing up this cool down, this dessert. Y'all know my cool down is my dessert. See, that's how I have to, that's a good way for me to remember things. You correlate things with other things. So for exercise, that's one way I've always done it. If you want to think about food, think about it in a good way. Think about it as not eating too much or overindulging. Think about it as, okay, let's relate this food to exercise. You know, appetizer, warm up, entree, workout, dessert, cool down. And what's usually the favorite part? The dessert. So what about working out? Usually the cool down. You're almost done. And now for some people, the entree may be the favorite part, because some people really like to get up and get at it. For some people, the warm up may be the favorite part, because you know you're stretching, you're getting those muscles ready to work, ready to train. So it just depends on the person. It just depends on the person. Chef says, how are you, Brilliant? Good to see you. Shooting Von those hearts. But yeah, so I was saying it earlier, but I always say, y'all, don't let that, when I say it's good if you can walk and talk, that is true to a great degree, but don't, if you're having difficulty, don't do that. Don't do that. If you're having difficulty talking as you walk or as you do any exercise, don't do that. Because, you know, everybody's not to that point. And for some people, they may never get to that point because, for one, they just may not like it that way. They may not like talking while they're walking or talking while they're exercising. They want to be focused and they want to be quiet. Now, if you do enjoy having like a partner with you and y'all want to talk, be quiet at first. Give it a couple of weeks, a few months, build that stamina up, and you'll be able to do that. Build that stamina up, build your endurance, and you'll be able to do that. But there's nothing wrong with not talking. I see that a lot of times when I've seen other people tell people it's a good thing if you can talk while you're exercising. It is a good thing, but the best thing is just the fact that you're moving, okay? And that's why I do these Let's Walk and Talk lives. It's just to encourage people to move. Because when you get out here, be outside either. It helps your mental. It helps your emotional. It helps your physical. It helps your mind, body, and soul. Okay, it helps your mind. It doesn't take away all your problems. It doesn't. You know, it doesn't take away all your problems. It doesn't take away all your mental problems. It doesn't take away all your emotional problems. It doesn't take away all your relationship problems. But it opens up your mind and it allows you to think more clearly and more freely. It gets those endorphins flowing. It gets those endorphins flowing, and it allows your mind to think more openly and more clearly. You know, it releases that stress. It may not release all of your stress, but at least some of your stress. Because some of the things that you're going through, you can exercise 24/7. It's not going to change it. And a lot of times people are like, well, this person exercises all the time. They still got this ailment, or they still got this illness or this sickness. Well, guess what? That's life. That's life. Sometimes it's hereditary, and sometimes nobody in your family has dealt with something, but that person is the first one to deal with it. Maybe nobody in the family ever had high blood pressure, but that person has high blood pressure. So maybe walking and exercising won't make it go to 120/80. But if it's 160/90 and your meds can get it to 140/80, maybe you walking can get it to 130/70. You know? Hey, Tamika. So it helps. It helps. And I always go by this, like my grandparents, my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents. And I tell you all the time, my great-great-grandmother lived till I was 15. It's better to not be a couch potato and just sit. It's better to move, because if you do start not to feel so great, or if you do go through the flu, a cold, or whatever, do you know that if you exercise on a regular basis for that week or two that you're down with the flu, you're probably going to bounce back a little bit sooner than you would have had you not been a person who worked out consistently. You don't have to be a workout guru, just a consistent cardiovascular activity: walking, jump roping, swimming, treadmill, elliptical. Walk around your house. If you don't like to walk around the neighborhood, walk around your house. Walk around your apartment complex. If you don't like to be outside, turn on that AC and walk around each room in your apartment, each room in your house. Just do something, you know? How you doing, Tamika? Brilliant says she is blessed. Chef, how are you? Vaughn says, I say I am going to exercise every morning and don't. And you don't, Vaughn? That's how a lot of us do, Vaughn. A lot of people are like that. Until you finally get up and just do it. Hello. Until you finally just get up and do it, you're gonna be like that. I don't even know what to say to encourage you, but except to encourage you. Because even people who work out consistently, sometimes we take a break. We might and guess what? A lot of us take a break when we know we're going to be eating like crazy around the holidays, because we worked out consistently all year. Maybe throughout the year we may have taken like a week off and we got right back into it. And then around the holidays, you might take a whole month. You got some people who take off from Thanksgiving to right after New Year's, because they know that's roughly like a month and a half, right? Well, they know the other 10 and a half months, they're working out. They're being consistent. So there's nothing wrong with that. If you're doing it and you've gotten pretty good with it, it's okay to even take a month off out of a year. Now, your month may be one, whole month at a time, or you may take a week every 3 months, a week every 4 months, or something like that. But you have to find something about it that makes you want to do it. You have to find something about it. Just like, say for instance, if you know you don't like exercising, you don't like working out, I'm gonna go this way, but you love to swim. Well, that's a workout right there. That's one of the best cardiovascular workouts there is, especially because of the weight of the water. So if you love to swim, guess what? And in summertime is when we go swimming most. So when winter comes, just find you an indoor pool, a warm indoor pool. So if you just hit it with swimming over the summer, that's cardiovascular. Okay, so someone who doesn't like swimming, you may just start out once a week. You may even start out just twice a month. Twice a month is better than what you've been doing if you haven't been doing anything. So you may start out twice a month, and then you like it so much, you do some water aerobics, or you just swim. You don't have to do water aerobics. You can just swim. And then you end up finding that you're doing it once a week. So when it gets cold, you're thinking, okay, I can't do it now. Well, maybe if you really like swimming like that, maybe that's when your gym membership or your YMCA membership, if you can find one, can kick in for you. You won't feel like you're wasting it. Because I know a lot of people who get gym memberships, they feel like they waste them because they don't use it. They get it with the intention to use it. They get it thinking, well, I'm paying for it, I better use it. And they still don't use it. So you got to find that one exercise. How many did I just name, y'all? Brian says, Vaughn, I be struggling with it. Vaughn says, really, I didn't consider that. Yeah, just, what did I say? Walking is just something I just love, because when we were kids growing up, when our parents, if the car broke down, fortunately we were in a place where we could walk to about anywhere we had to go. But hey, it was still a little hump. So we would walk. And if our parents were at work and there was somewhere that was within a safe distance and we could walk and we got permission, we walked. So then when we would go to the country, when we had visit family in the country, they make you walk. Because there's one thing about country people. 9 times out of 10, when you see those country people, they've gotten some exercise, because they're either gardeners, they're farmers, they run errands for other people. They do something. People in the country, they do something. 9 times out, they garden, they do something. So they encourage the kids to do something. Busy at work lines, enjoy your walk. Okay, bro, thank you, Fishing Time, for dropping into the chat. Thank you for coming by my channel, the live. I appreciate you. Really, I didn't consider, like 3, yeah, like you can walk. Some people, like sometimes on here, I get in the mood, like earlier, y'all, I was really in the mood to jog, but it's hard jogging with this phone. It's not hard doing it, but it's not going to look right. And then plus, I had just done my elliptical like 45 minutes, so that was enough. But you can walk, you can jog. You can, and you don't, When you're walking, you need a good stride, a good pace. But if you can't, that's okay. Because walking slowly for 30 minutes is better than not walking at all. Walking slowly for 30 minutes is better than not walking. It's just like if you give your kids something to eat, and all they want to eat is the green veggie, and they get to the point where they're about to puke if you're trying to make them eat something else. Well, guess what? At least they ate one. At least they ate one instead of eating nothing at all. And I know that can be frustrating because I'm from that school of, you get your 2 veggies and your meat. Sometimes you get 3 veggies, and you should eat it. I remember some of the elders in my family would be like, y'all eat up all that food before you drink. Or they would tell you, that we were at the table, so they would tell you, you can have a drink, after a little while. Because if you drink up everything that you have, you're going to get full and you're not going to eat. Even if it's water. That's how, you're going to get full and you're not going to eat. So I had an older cousin. She was like an auntie. Whenever her kids were like, they were our cousins. You would think that they were our first cousins, when really, I think she was our first or second cousin. So she was like an auntie. And when we sat down to eat, she watched. She was like, no. She put out, we had our drink, which was usually probably like Kool-Aid or water or something. But she wanted you to eat something before you sat there and drink up all that Kool-Aid. Or even, because I had a cousin that loved water. She would drink up all the water and then she'd be full. So she'd be like, okay, y'all can have a drink now. And some people would probably look at that and be like, damn, the kids can't even drink. But there was a reasoning behind it, a reasoning that worked. We would get our nutrition in. Because if you sat there and drink all your water, then yes, water is therapeutic, water is essential. But you didn't eat, or you barely ate. But if you know that in order to drink the water or the Kool-Aid, that you gotta eat something, you'll go ahead and eat a couple of bites at least. But you have some people, what I don't like is they'll sit there and just try to make somebody just force down the food to the point where the child's about to puke. Now, we all know our kids, and we know when they're faking, or we know when it may not be faking, but they're just so stubborn they don't want the food. So you might have to fix them something else, or they just may eat that one thing. But there was some logic behind her doing that. And everybody who spent the night with her, guess what? We still love going over there. Even though when we went home, we could just eat and drink. However, when it was dinner time, we still enjoyed going over there because she was just doing that because that was the way her parents had raised her. And raising her kids, she saw that way they ate better. They ate better. So she would be like, okay, y'all can drink. So you're not just going to sit there and just eat one bite and then drink up all that Kool-Aid. So sometimes and to me to this day, I don't really think it's because of that, because I didn't spend the night with her that much. But to this day, I'd rather eat most of my food and then I drink a little bit. So I'm that kind of person. How do y'all do? Like, I eat and then I can I drink. But it's not like I have to have a drink every so often. If I did, that would be fine. But I'm more of I can sit down and drink something like an 8 ounce of water or whatever, Coke or whatever. Like after I'm done eating. I can do that after I'm done eating. But while I'm eating, I know it's a long time ago, that I will mostly eat about half of my food before I even took a sip of whatever I had to drink. So I say a quarter. I eat a quarter of my food, have something to drink, eat the other quarter. Basically, I'm halfway now, have something to drink. And it wasn't like I was sitting there trying to make sure. That's just how I am. That's how I am. And so I guess that's why I didn't really mind it when she would tell us, okay, now you can have something to drink. Because I was kind of like that anyway. If you sit there and you let the kids drink, and I'm not going to judge about what you let them drink. It could be soda, it could be pop, it could be Kool-Aid, it could be whatever. But if you let them drink, then they're not going to eat. Think about what they tell us today. The best way to lose weight is to drink a lot of water because you're going to get full. You're going to get full. Let me see what y'all saying. Chef says, I love it. It just makes you feel better. Yes. I'm just used to working out ever since high school. Being on the track team, we had to work out. And yes, exactly, exactly, chef, exactly. Oh my goodness, the conditioning it takes to be a track star. Ooh, to me, all of them are track stars. Because you got to get out there, even if you're not the best on the team, you got to train. You got to do that training. And training to be on track is not easy, y'all. That's not easy at all. Vaughn says, true, you got full on liquids. Yep, you will get full. Now, like I say, I don't judge anybody. Because there are some times when probably all you had in the house was something to drink. You know? And the good side to that is at least you will get full. You know? At least you will get full. Vaughn says, I don't make my kids do anything but clean. I know that's right, Vaughn. Gotta make them do something. We gotta instill some type of discipline in them. Make them do some chores. We got to. I can eat all my food and then drink water. Yeah, that's how I am, Vaughn. It's like, I don't know if I'll be like that always, but for the most part, I can pretty much just eat and then drink. Or like I said, I'll drink, but during my that sit down meal, I might drink like 3 to 4 times. Where I see some people, like when you out to a restaurant, girl, they getting refills on the drinks like crazy. And some of those people are eating now. They're eating. But I'm just not one of those people I don't get a refill. It's very seldom that I get a refill. Now, I might get a to-go drink, but most of the times, whatever I have to drink in that sitting, that's all I need. And sometimes I'll leave that and I'll just get a refresher, to go. So, and then, I was just like, it depends on what I'm eating. Yeah, I was just about to say, yep. And then, too, it does depend on what you're eating, because if it's not that good, girl, sometimes the drink is the only thing that you got that saved the meal. Sometimes the drink is the best part of it if the food wasn't good. Vaughn says, make sure they don't look like bombs in the morning. I can eat all my food and then drink. Yep. I feel trifling when I let my kids drink pop. It wasn't allowed when I was a kid. Really, Vaughn? You know what? Do you think you allow them to drink it because you couldn't drink it? Or do you feel like you allow your kids to drink pop because you couldn't drink it? Or do you feel like it's just not a big deal to you? Like, okay, as long as they don't overindulge, I'm cool with it. So do you think it was because you weren't able to do it? Or do you think it's just not so much because you weren't able to do it? Like, that doesn't really impact your decision. Maybe it's just that you don't think it's a really big deal as long as they're not drinking too much. Because I think sometimes as adults, if we weren't able to do something, it's funny how that goes. If we weren't able to do something, then we allow our kids to do it. Within reason. And then sometimes some things we were able to do, we're a little bit more restrictive with the kids. Vaughn says, I honestly don't like it, but my husband doesn't care. Okay, I got you. And see, that's one of those things where you got to compromise. Like, what do you do? Because kids see the parents argue sometimes. Some parents try to make sure that never happens. But kids sense things just like we sense things when we were kids. Sometimes when there's a little bit of tension in the room. Or sometimes like if mama's at work and dad lets you have a pop. And then when dad's at work, mama says no. And then today they're both there together. It's kind of like, especially if you have at least one sibling with you, y'all kind of like looking at each other like, which way do we go? What are we going to do? Are we going to, is dad going to let us have this pop? Mom is sitting here and she said no. And it could be the same way. It could be something that the dad doesn't like and the mom is okay with it. But we always talk about what's healthy for our kids to see. I think it's healthy that the kids see the parents dispute a little bit, have some disputes. Yelling, cussing, dogging each other out, no. But it's good to see them have some disputes so that they can learn how to, work through some things. Now, some things you can't work through in front of them. And so those are definitely the disputes that you should not have in front of them. But there are some things that our kids, some arguments, the kids should see the parents go through. Or some disputes or some disagreements. If you're going to make sure that they also see you work it out. If you're gonna, let them see that you can work it out. Because a lot of kids will go to school and they don't like to compromise. They don't like to compromise, and it's because one, they haven't really been taught to, especially if they're only kids, like if they're the only child in the house. So they probably haven't had to ever compromise. So even for those kids, the people who only have one child, it's good to let them see you have disputes or disagreements to a degree, so that they can see you come together and compromise. Or even if they don't even actually know how you came to your decision, they can see that it worked out. Because some kids don't like to compromise at all. They don't compromise, and they have a hard time getting along with other people. They play y'all against each other, Vaughn. All the time. I could believe it. Hey, Alice, welcome into the chat. How you doing, Alice? Alice says, hey, Vaughn. Hey, Mars in chat. Brent says, Vaughn, I tell my kids they ain't gonna have kidneys when they get older. Shaking my head. They don't care. I stop buying soda. They come up with it anyway. Oh, my goodness. So you know what, Brilliant? That's the thing. When they get old enough especially if they get their little money, their little allowances, and they can find a way to get it anyway. And nowadays, these schools allow them. Now, I guess it depends on the area that you live in, because I have some family, their junior high and their high school, they will have like diet drinks in there. And some of my family, they live in areas where there are no sodas at all. There's like Powerade, Gatorade, Powerade, water. And they may have like High C, something like that. They may even put the Kool-Aid drinks in there, but they don't have any sodas. Brent says, Vaughn, doggone well, of the rest moms out. Doggone well, of the rest moms of out. What? Brilliant, what? I'm trying to stop y'all. Alice said, hey, Vaughn. Hey, Brilliant. Vaughn said, hey, Miss Alice. But yeah, y'all, so sometimes you just have to let people know. And there's been a couple of occasions where I have to let people know, it is an app. And when they say, why are you always trying to be so positive? I'm like, you're only seeing me for 30 minutes. I could have had a knockdown drag out in my class today. I could have had a knockdown drag out with one of my family members. I could have had a knockdown drag out at work. Some people are just naturally positive and uplifting. I don't want to, if I'm going to use that kind of stress and energy, I want it to be on somebody I love, to be honest. I'm not going to even lie to you. I think me and Brilliant talked about this the other day. It was either me and Brilliant or me and Sassy. And why am I going to be so mad or be so negative with somebody I don't even know? Yeah, you can rub me the wrong way and tick me off, then I'm done with you. And that's depending on who it is. That's whether it's in real life, it's whether it's on the app or whatever. It depends on who it is. Because sometimes people say things according to where they were raised. Like where I was raised, I'm a northern and a southern girl. So there are things that you say in the South, people up north look at you like, that wasn't smart. Like in the South, you don't tell your mother what. Like when your mom says something to you or your dad, you don't say what. I mean, you don't have to use that tone. You just don't say the word what. You may say, what did you say? Mama, what did you say? Daddy, Pops, what did you say? But if they just say, Leroy, you don't say what? Beat down from the top down. You don't do that. That's just like cursing. M3, you're back. I'm glad to have you back. Thank you. Some people are definitely not worth your energy nor your time. Right, Miss Alice? It's like sometimes, and see, especially when you know where you come from, and I'm not talking about location. I'm talking about mentally, physically, the way you accept things and the way you've dealt with things in the past. So again, I always say, if you're bored over here, don't come over here, because I don't want that type of hype anyway. But every now and again, somebody almost makes you come out of that bag. Yeah, has what bag? Yeah, but southern, rural area, you better not. That's almost like saying lie. You know, my family up north, for kids to say a lie, that's not nothing, you know. That's just talk. The only thing up north in my family really take disrespect is like if you cussing around them or something. And some of them, you know, well, of course, if you're grown, there are certain cuss words, you know, your parents know they're going to hear you say sometimes. But I'm just saying, like, full grown, like you and your sister get into it and y'all cussing each other out. You better not do it. You better not do it in front of your parents. They might walk in and catch it and overhear it. But you better not think that you can just, your mom is sitting there, your dad is sitting there, your grandparents or even your aunties, and think you're just going to pop off and go to cussing each other out. Man, they'll take you back to the old school just like you were 8, 9, 10 years old. And by the time they get through giving you that tongue lashing, because I'm from that family where mom and dad, they'll still grab you, even though they really can't handle them. They really can't handle you. But you better have that degree of respect that, you know, that's just like a prince, Prince Charles. Those, what do you call the people over there that man the castle? What do you call those men? I can't even think of what they call them. If one of those men did something disrespectful in front of Prince Charles probably couldn't physically handle them, but I bet you they're not going to do it. I bet you they're not going to do it. So that's how it is with parents and kids. Yeah, you're going to get to a big old size and age, whereas sometimes your parents can still throw you down, but maybe you're even bigger than them and you just really, they can't do nothing with you, but you better not disrespect them and you better not try them. And that's even as a teenager. You know, a lot of people don't believe in hitting, you know, and I don't condone hitting. I'm not promoting hitting. But what I'm saying is, I've seen situations where a teenager thought he was going to snatch away from his mama. And lo and behold, daddy came around the corner, baby. Woo! Daddy came around the corner. But I've also seen situations where maybe a little girl thought she was going to sass off and snatch away from mama because mama grabbed her and said, get up, let's go. Because, see, mama can still grab you. That's not being abusive. She can, you want to sit there, you don't want to move. Okay. At least she didn't dump you out of the chair. So mama can grab you. And you think you're going to snatch away from mama? Ooh. Mama said, okay. So that's how you acting? That's how we acting. Y'all know what I'm talking about? If that's how you acting, that's how we gonna act. Vaughn says, my poor kids be so confused. My dad says lie is cursing. Yep. That's how a lot of people are. Vaughn says, I'd be like, girl, your grandma would have knocked me stupid. Yeah. I see Alice speaking to M3. Yes, welcome back, M3. I know. And it's just, sometimes it's so funny because it is about kind of like location, like where you were raised, or more so how your parents were raised. And some parents don't want to do to their kids what was done to them. It doesn't mean it was drastic, but they just don't want to go that route. And some parents raise their kids exactly how they were raised. Vaughn says, my poor kids be so confused. Alice says, I was taught that lie was cussing too. I know, me too. Miss Alice, I was taught that too. You better not say it in front of an authority figure. You better not say it in front of your mom, your pops. You better not say it in front of any of your parents. From your parents to your great-great-grandparents. You better not say that. As Vaughn said, snatch away. Vaughn, don't have flashbacks, Vaughn. Vaughn says, I'm having flashbacks. But that's how it is, y'all. You know, and a lot of times, you know, we're all human. My butt got whooped. Now, were there times when my parents tried to talk to me? Yeah, they'll talk to me. But sometimes it's just like when you're at a job, right? Usually you have maybe 3 levels of reprimand. Verbal warning, written warning, and you're fired. Well, you know, it just depends on the level of the offense. So that's just how parenting was back then. And now parenting is just, I don't even know if people parent, you know, and to see Vaughn interact with her kids so much, at least I do know, okay, they are still teaching their children, you know, but some you think some will make you think like, what are you teaching them? And some, it's not that they aren't teaching them, they're teaching them the wrong way and they're teaching them the wrong thing. You know, growing up, our parents taught us to try to have patience. Even though mine was short, the first thing my mom would say, you get mad so quickly. You get mad too quick. And then her mom would say, she's just like you. You know, she said, she's just like you. My siblings, one of them, he can escalate from 0 to 10 within a split second, but usually it's called for. It's the situation is necessary. So he has more patience, I think, than me. Because I think, you know, sometimes we women can be emotional creatures. And if you catch us in one of those emotional states, we tend to go from 1 to 10 more quickly than if you catch us when we're just kind of chilling. You know, when we're just kind of chill. So, you know, people are different. You have some men, when it comes to anger or being calm, most of the time, they're pretty chill. But then you have some who, hey, quick second, 0 to 10. Same for women. And sometimes it doesn't even matter how you're raised. I guess it's kind of like when they say some kids who are going to be bad are just going to be bad. It doesn't matter if you spank them. It doesn't matter if you whoop them. It doesn't matter if you just punish them only. Like they have never gotten a spanking, never gotten a whipping. They're just going to be bad. And then those kind of kids, sometimes you can whip them, you can do whatever. And people will say, well, maybe it's because you whooped them. That could be some truth to that, but it could be also that some kids are just going to do what they want to do. Some kids are just going to be disobedient. Some kids are just going to be bad. You know, some kids, especially like when you're growing up and you know, say for instance, you sneak out of the house, you know the consequences of that, but you sneak out of the house anyway. That's a form of being bad. You're sneaking out of the house. Your parents, of course, wouldn't want you sneaking out of the window at 10 o'clock, but you sneak out of the window and you go to the skating rink when they told you couldn't. So you knew the consequences could be a whooping if that's what your parents did. It could be that you got away with it. It could be a whipping. It could be a tongue lashing, and some people would rather take the whipping than the tongue lashing. But if you did something like that, you knew the consequences. So that means you were going to just be a bad kid anyway. You're going to be a bad kid anyway. So I don't judge people for whippings and stuff. Now I do for abuse, because I know some people think any form of physical punishment is abuse. I don't take any form of physical punishment as abuse, because I got whippings. You know, my siblings got whippings. Mostly everybody in my family got whippings. There were a few who only got punishments, but the ones who got punished in my generation, guess what? They were bad as hell. They was bad as hell. They was bad as hell. I can remember my granddad saying, all she gonna do is make him go in that room and close the door. When he go in the room and close the door, he gonna have a ball. Put a hurting on that boy. I can remember my great granddad telling one of my aunties that about her son. But you know, it's to each his own. And as long as it's not like over the top, hey, I'm not saying anything about somebody getting the whipping. I'm not. I'm not. Because, you know, the main people who want to talk about whippings, if we want to talk about whippings, let's take it all the way back, okay? Let's take it all the way back. So you can see why it's so wrong today. Maybe generations ago, they should have seen why it was so wrong, you know? Because that's basically what it comes from. That's what it stems from. Things that have happened generations ago. The thought that there's a need to whip or whoop, it comes from a long time ago. And I know as times change, you learn better, you do better, of course. But I don't know. I'd rather whoop my child or see a family member whoop a child than to see that child maybe go and do some things that they shouldn't have done and then encounter somebody who doesn't care about them. And imagine that whooping. You know? Imagine that whooping. Alice was laughing at Vaughn. Vaughn says, didn't I tell you, haunts me? I know my kids hate to hear it. The two middle ones are emotional and short-tempered like me. Really, Vaughn? That's how it is. Sometimes you could be just like one of your parents. Sometimes you could be just like both of them. And you know, whoo, whoo, that's a recipe right there. Like you got a calm mother, but a hot-tempered dad. And then you're kind of like in the middle. I guess that could work. But sometimes they end up being just like the calm one, or they end up being just like the hot-tempered one. So I guess the best thing you can hope for is kind of get them in the middle. kind of have them be in the middle so that you can say, okay, yeah, he like me or she's like me. But you keep pushing them, they're going to be like their dad. And if it's the mom that's got the hot temper and the dad that's calm, it's going to be the same thing. You know, they might end up in the middle. The dad saying he's like me, but if you push him, you're going to see mama come out of it. You ain't got to worry about talking about seeing mama come around the corner. You're going to see him act like mama. And sometimes mama bear is going to be way harder than papa bear. Vaughn says that was me sneaky and always get... You were getting busted, Vaughn. Alice says, I love a challenge as a kid. See, sometimes if you're going to be bad, you're going to be bad. Whether you got whippings or not. Because if you're bad, you already know that your parents whip or whoop. So that means you're willing to take that risk. So I don't think sometimes when people say, oh, whipping them is just going to make them worse. I don't know. Because sometimes people tell you they'd rather have the whipping. They'd rather have the whipping than to have the punishment. Or they'd rather have the whipping than to have you tell them they can't go somewhere. They'd be like, well, can I just get a whipping? They'd rather have the whipping than to have you fuss for 30 minutes. And woo, because some parents, y'all, let me tell you, some parents fuss. They fuss about whatever you do. If you did it at 10 o'clock in the morning, man, they may not stop fussing at 11:30 or 12 o'clock. And then, you know, about 3 o'clock, you think they didn't forgot about it. You make any sound the wrong way. Boy, they right back on that stuff that you did at 10 o'clock. They're right back on that stuff you did at 10 o'clock this morning. They right back on it. Brenda says, hey, Alice, Queen. She's laughing at Vaughn. Spare the rod, spoil the child is what I heard growing up. Yep. Vaughn says, April, I was rotted some. I was rotted some, how spoiled and still. Oh, you were rotted and spoiled. That's what I'm saying. A lot of times, y'all remember, brilliant. Remember when I was saying we were gonna come up with some sayings? Did somebody say that one? This is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. This is gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. I don't know. I don't remember if anybody said that one. But that's one of those old sayings, y'all. It's gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. And you looking like, yeah, right. It may hurt you emotionally, but right now we're talking about physically. It's hurt me. And if you're a bad child, guess what? You're still gonna get into something later. Every now and again, a whipping may slow you down. You may act good for a week, and depending on the type of whipping, you might act good for a month. But if you're bad, you're gonna be bad. Vaughn says, hubby and I let them slide all the time. I was riding still. Oh, okay, I saw that one. Let me see. Green says, my mama never whooped, but my dad whooped us enough for 30 people. And talked the whole time and never waited. Brilliant, he was talking. Didn't I tell you? Vaughn says, we were bad as kids. We know what's in store for us. I apologize to my mother all the time. I'm telling you. See, that's what I mean, Vaughn. It's like, some people act like, oh, you whooped that child. You did them so wrong. Let me tell you something. 9 times out of 10, if a child got whooped when they were little, it didn't stop them from doing the next bad thing that they did the next time come around. It didn't stop them from acting bad. It didn't stop them from doing the next bad thing they wanted to do. Hello. If a kid want to be bad, they're going to be bad. No matter how much you whoop them, they be talking about, you just ruined them. Man, I got so many cousins that got whoopings and shoot. When I got some whoopings, if it was something that I really wanted to get into and I wasn't supposed to, you did it anyway. Knowing you was going to get a whooping if you got caught. Y'all, I don't know what happened. That's the first time that ever happened. What happened on y'all's end? It said that it was interrupted. At least it didn't start it over. I was like, oh my God. It said your live stream is interrupted, but at least it didn't start over, y'all. Just like that, brilliant. Yep. Let me go up a little bit. My mama, okay, I saw that. Woo, Vaughn, yeah, you have to apologize, and then you have to, ooh, you mean it. You have to mean that apology too. Well, you do mean it. You be like, oh my goodness, I was terrible. I was just doing the most. Bree says no lines pride, but that's a good one. we we intriguing a few new ones. Yeah, yep, a few new ones in here tonight. we look. We start talking about that discipline. You can come up with a whole lot of. Alice says, I remember hearing that and repeating it to my kids, but I rarely spank my kids. That's good. That's good. Because a lot of times, though, when you do rarely spank your kids, that means that they rarely need a spanking. You know, I have an auntie who said that she wished she had spanked her kids less. Now, I do encounter people like that, too. And looking back on it, I wish I hadn't gotten on to my kids so much a lot of times. Because a lot of times when you look back, you know, hindsight is 20/20. When you look back, some of the stuff you was just fussing about, or some of the whippings could have just really, it could have been a talking to. Some of the stuff that you really fussed about for 30, 40 minutes, you could have just really told them a better way to do it. But sometimes what makes us not do those things is because we have a lack of patience. Vaughn says, Aubrey, I swear, my dads were the worst. My stepfather would buy me stuff afterwards. Like, dude, you could have kept the whooping. Vaughn, that is a coping mechanism for a lot of parents. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've heard a lot of people say that after they got a whooping, their parent will buy them something. And I guess that's a part of that. It's gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. So they try to do something to make you feel better, but your butt is still torn up. Your butt is still torn up. Hey girl dad, welcome to the live. Lions Pride, how are you doing today? Everyone in the chat, doing good. Miss Alice says, hey girl dad, glad to see you girl dad. Glad you can come into the live. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for the hearts. See, that's why I always try to act positive, because you never know what people have been through during the day. Does that mean that I hadn't had a rough day? No, it doesn't. But it means I don't want to spend my time and energy. I've always felt like social media, the goal for social media before people got their hands on it, the goal was to educate, teach, educate, whichever one you want to use, motivate, encourage, uplift, be a resource. That's what I've always thought. Even if it's an app, not just the World Wide Web, not just Google, you know, I think I've always thought the goal of social media was to teach, educate, motivate, uplift, entertain, encourage, support, you know, and be a resource like a library. But then they came up with these apps, and people have made it, you know, so negative. They made it so negative. But that's what I've always thought that was the goal for. Now, of course, do they see money in it? And they bank off of it? Yeah, they do. They see people get on here and straight clown. And so, you know, they have guidelines and rules and stuff, but they still allow so much stuff to be done. But that is what I always felt like it should be. I feel like social media should be a place where if you're having a bad day, you should be able to go, and it won't change your problems, but at least kind of like exercise. It can allow you to clear your mind. It can take you to places like imagery. If you just had a hard day at work, you don't even feel like talking about some exercising. Maybe sit down, take off your shoes, kick back, and just sit and watch something on social media. Watch somebody give a foot massage. If you don't have anybody to massage your feet, watch somebody teach you something. Watch somebody be uplifting. Watch somebody talk about a problem that you may have had today at work and how they worked it out. Not to come on here and be more stressed out. So that's why I come on here. It doesn't mean that everything's positive all the time, but people always wanna, you know, they want to tell you what's up with you. You know what? People want to tell you what's up with you, and they have no clue what they're talking about. But the way they say it, if they have enough followers, they'll join right in. And they know it's not right, because guess what? They don't want people telling them how to live. They don't want people telling them what's right for them or what's wrong for them. So it's easy. It's easy to come on here and be negative. But just because you see someone trying to be positive and trying to spread some positivity doesn't mean that everything's going for them is going just great and groovy. It doesn't. So I think sometimes people take themselves on these apps too seriously. And sometimes they take what's going on with them and try to impart that onto something, to implant that into somebody else. You know, it's some kind of like that same thing Vaughn was saying yesterday. Sometimes people will try to rip you to shreds for something that they do themselves. And they're realized, you know, they'll be judgmental and hypocritical towards you. And they've done some of the same things. Like, after all, we're human. We've all made some of the same mistakes. Some of us, our mistakes have been bigger. Some have been smaller. Some have been, you can't compare them, you know. But everybody, unless you're a newborn baby, you've gone through something. You've probably done something you wish you hadn't done. You've done something that you regret. So how can you be so hypocritical and so judgmental? I don't understand it. Now, come on now. Do we talk? Yes. That's just like me and my girlfriend when I get off this live. We probably going to talk about some stuff we were talking about earlier today. But we're not the type of people that's going to go around and discuss whatever we were discussing and put it throughout the whole town, the whole state about somebody. We're not going to jump on social media and talk about the person. We're not going to do that. And at the end of the day, if it's anything that I can do to help that person, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Let me see. I used to, what Vaughn was saying. Girl, Dad says, hi, Alice. I'm saying I'm going to whoop all day and don't. Yep. And they catch on to that too. Girl, they go somewhere and be in the back of the house giggling and laughing at you. She ain't gonna do nothing. Alice said, I used to do that too, Vaughn, until I realized my kids weren't taking my threat seriously. Yeah, they'll be laughing at you. They'll laugh at you. Alice says, girl, Dad, I have no complaints. How are you? Let's see, Vaughn said, Miss Alice, and I apologize and give hugs after whoopings. I suck at discipline. I know that's me, Vaughn. Kind of like your stepdad, you know. Okay, he'd take you out maybe to get a Whopper or something, get a Big Mac meal. Do something or buy you something. Well, you hug and kiss, like. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay, right? Your kids are probably thinking you're doing one thing and saying another one. But when it comes to discipline, you have to. It's good to have some explanation behind it, you know. It's good to have something behind it, not just do it, not just say, "Oh, you did that, I'm mad," and whoop them and be done, you know. So I guess I can kind of understand the old saying, "This is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you," because 9 times out of 10, that parent also after the whipping, they still told them something, you know. They said, "Well, you know why I did that, right?" You know, they're gonna talk about it and tell them why. You know, all parents won't do that, but some will. But at least you're trying. You know, nobody's perfect. We don't have a handbook. We don't have a parenting. There are a lot of parenting handbooks out there, but not all of them have all the solutions. Not all of them have all the solutions. And most of the time, we're so busy, you know, trying to take care of our family, trying to take care of ourselves. We don't really have time to stop and read the handbook like some people do. Now, if you're a stay-at-home mom, maybe you do. If you're a stay-at-home dad, maybe you do. But sometimes we don't always have the time. You know what? We might buy a book like that and don't get past chapter 1, or maybe get to chapter 3 and it's got 10 chapters. Sometimes you just don't have the time to do that, or you don't have the patience to do that. And so that's why I say you have to, you know, acknowledge your flaws. Before working on your flaws, you have to acknowledge your flaws. And that's a flaw of mine, is patience. I don't have patience. That's why when people come at me kind of crazy, I just stop dealing. Because I'm not that person that's going to have that patience to try to work it out or talk it out with somebody I don't even know. Now, if it's somebody I know and I love, I have a lasting relationship with, I might be mad as fire and I might not want to talk to them for a while. You know, kind of like Vaughn was saying yesterday. But eventually, there's going to come a time where I can have a conversation with them, or they can have a conversation with me. Or if they need something, I'm coming, you know? And I will hope that if I need something, they're coming. But to get stressed out behind somebody who's just went off the chaotic rail, nah. You can stay over there on that chaotic rail. Because my patience, if I know my flaws, and one of my flaws is no patience. So if I address it too strenuously, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. And this is not what, I don't think that this is what the app is for. I don't think that this is what any app is for. Like I said, I think you should go to these apps and be able to have fun, to be able to be informed, educated, to teach yourself, you know, to do it yourself. Look at some do it yourself projects, to learn, you know, and to have a little drama. That's okay. The drama's okay. I watch content creators who, a lot of times I think the drama is too much or it goes too far, but I like them. Y'all know how it's just something about about a person. Like maybe when you were back in kindergarten, or maybe even say you changed schools in the 5th grade, and there was just something about this one little girl that you just liked and you just wanted to be her friend. And the two of you became friends, and now you're 35 years old and you've been friends since you were 10. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just people you like, and you know they may have some things that you don't like about them, but as a person, you like them. You can't help who you like. And you're an adult. You have too many adults trying to tell other adults what to do, where to go. Do you even tell your grown children, or even your minor children, where to go, what to do? Do they even take you that seriously? And sometimes I think not. And that's why they get on apps and they display the behavior that they display. Everybody speaking to girl dad. Sassy, I didn't see you coming here. Sassy says, hey Lines Pride, hey chat. See people speaking to girl dad. It does hurt us though, Vaughn. It does. Lion says right, Lion said. Vaughn says right, Lion, spreading false gossip in private conversations publicly isn't good. No, it's not. It's not. And I would never do that. Like if I fell out with someone I know, like I truly have met and done things with and hung out with, or maybe I haven't done all that, but I just know them. I'm just not going to do that. Like, come on, what are we? We're adults now. We're not 15. You know, some people can't hold water in a bucket. You know, some people can't hold water in a bucket. So they're not looking at something that's half full or half empty. Because they can't hold water in a bucket. As soon as they get some news, they go and they fly with it. They're ready to let it drop. Not even knowing if the news is fake, phony, or a lie. And if it's the truth, if that person confided in you, why show them that you're that person? Like if that person, look, let me tell you, I know people, y'all, they're like, don't tell me. Like they say, don't tell me. That's what they say. Like if you're trying to talk to them about something, they're like, don't tell me. Because they tell you that they can't hold water. They can't hold, if you got a brand new pail out of the Dollar Tree and put a hose pipe in it and let the water flow in there. If that person is the bucket, the person's going to tilt themselves over. They don't want to hold it. You know, they don't want to hold it. And then sometimes it may not be that they don't want to hold it. They just can't. Some people just can't keep a secret, or they just can't. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a secret, but it's just a private conversation. So when people are having private conversations, you know that, and you know what should be private and what's not. You know what a person, each and every one of us should know what's considered privileged information. Something that the person you're talking to wouldn't want it to be known to anybody else. They wouldn't want anybody else to be privy to that. You know? Vaughn says, I'm like that too, Lions. I want to be everybody's friend. I know, Vaughn. I know, Vaughn. I know. And see, the thing about it is, sometimes people will get mad at you. But I'm like, okay, but when I was trying to tell you, you wasn't listening. So why the hell you mad now? You know, y'all got friends like that. Like, it's like, you tell them, because you're not their, you don't tell them what to do. You're not their authority figure. But as a friend, when you see a friend doing something that's not good for them, or and they even know it, but they're going to do it anyway. Something that's not productive. And you say, please don't do that, because later on, I know you. Now, these are people you really know. Or you may even be trying to get to know them. It's some things that we all just know. Some things just aren't kosher. Put it like that. Some things to do just aren't kosher. So you're trying to tell them, they never listen to you. But then when they need you to tell them and you don't, oh, you all kinds of crazy. You all kinds of not supportive. Or you all kinds of this. So that's why I know my patience are short. They are a lot better than it used to be. And sometimes even now, if I hear something, because sometimes when we're communicating online, sometimes you can misinterpret things that are said. Because we don't really, there is tone in writing. I heard somebody laugh at that, and I got so tickled. Somebody had said that it was the tone in which they typed it. There is tone in writing. People write books, people write novels. There's tone. If you're reading a novel, tone is what gets you trapped up in that novel. Tone is what makes you want to see what's going to be happening on the next page. There is tone in writing. So yes, there is tone in typing on these laptops, on these phones. There is tone. And it doesn't have to always be all caps. It doesn't have to always be all caps. There is tone. But what I learned is to always ask the person, what did you mean by that? Because if I get perturbed or something I see, I'm going to say, what do you mean by that? Or what, and then they think that that's smart, but that's not smart. Because what that's doing is you're asking them to elaborate before you take it the wrong way. So there is always, remember that it's not just exclamation marks and question marks and capital letters. All of that, that's part of tone. But it's also in what you say. And you also have to remember that autocorrect is crazy. Sometimes autocorrect gets you all discombobulated. Vaughn says, I'm practicing privacy. It's a struggle. Yeah, Vaughn, you really have to. And it's sad that you have to be, but you do. Brian says, I don't have time to be the creator of other folks' mess. I got my own. Exactly. She says, girl, I am. I'm sorry, I'm reading them back up, going up backwards. Girl, I am the one that will carry secret to my grave. Sometimes people tell me stuff and intend for me to spread the info. And when I don't, they get irritated with you. Brilliant. Come on now. You preaching right there. Sometimes people give you a test and they're waiting to see if you fail it. Okay? Sometimes people give you a test and they're waiting to see if you're going to fail the test. They're waiting to see if you're going to fail the test. So when people give you a test, make sure you pass it. But then again, the flip side of that, sometimes you need to fail the test in order to trip them up, okay? Sometimes people will test you. And depending on how you respond, the way you respond, depending on that determines if you pass the test. And see, brilliant, when they get irritated with you, honestly, you passed the test and they were expecting you to fail the test. See, people look for you to fail tests. And when you don't fail the test, they get irritated. They get irritated with you. Vaughn says it's a struggle. Alice laughing. Brian says, Alice, for real, I never want someone running around with my name twisted up in their same mess. Vaughn says, Miss Alice, I'm serious. Alice says, Brian, I feel the same way. Vaughn, I know you are. Yeah, you just, sometimes, y'all, you just have to, sometimes you want to respond, but you have to think about it. Think about, we were talking about discipline. Okay, say your parent tell you, tell you can't do something or you can't do whatever. Or say they whoop you. Even though for people who may hear this live, we're not condoning that. Because some people think that is wrong. But to each his own. Well, say your parents giving you a whipping and you turn around, you look like you're about to hit back. Guess what your parent probably going to say? That's what I want you to do. They're going to say, that's what I want you to do. And guess what? If you do it, your AZZ failed the test. But if you don't do it, you pass the test and you can keep on trucking. So You so mad this time, like you tired of getting whooped. It's like you so mad, or say they maybe don't whip you, they hit you like 2 or 3 times, and say, some people that's what they do. You can't. We're not condoning this stuff, but we're talking about life. And this channel says 18 and over. It's not for kids, so we're just talking. And it's a whole conversation can be had on some of the stuff that we're talking about. Whole other lives can be done on some of the stuff we talked about. We've talked about exercise. We've talked about disciplining children. How. We've talked about the response after the fact. We talked about a lot of stuff. So if I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes you get so mad your mom or your dad, they hit you that one time, or they hit you that wrong way. They might not want to do it that way, and you turn around and you look like, and then you catch your parents' eyes. Sometimes, some of us will divvy up and go get brave, but most of the times, that certain look your parent is saying, and that parent might even say that's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do. Woo, especially if you really deserve a whipping. So that's a test right there. That whipping was a test. Part 2 of the test was when you caught that eye. And that eye was saying, that's what I want you to do. So are you going to pass the test? Because I'm telling you right now, passing the test means to go on, take your punishment, and handle your business. If you hit back, oh, you failed the test. And sometimes that's how people are. People who have no control over you, who did not birth you into this world. God didn't see them as your vessel into this world, but they think that they can control you. And they give you tests. And sometimes ignoring them is passing the test. Ignoring them is passing the test. That can be hard. So we're not going to say everybody's going to ignore all the time, because that's hard. That can be a feat, especially the way some people are. Sometimes it's hard to ignore some people. It's hard. And sometimes we don't pass the test, but that's what they're banking on. They're banking on us to fail the test. It can be hard. Sometimes we fail the test, but that's okay. Guess what? Before a semester is up, you get 3 or 4 tests. You can fail one of them, you can get a flat out 0. But if you make at least a 90 on the other 3, you're going to pass that test with a B. You're going to pass that class with a B. You're going to pass that class with a B. That's what they want you to do. They want you to fail the test. So don't fail the test. Pass the test for yourself. Pass the test for your own well-being. Pass the test for your own stability. Pass the test for your own mental being, mental health, emotional being, emotional health, physical health. Don't take on that stress. Leave it over there. Leave it over in the misery lounge. Because see, some people live in a misery lounge. Like me and Sassy, we've been talking about that misery lounge. Some people live in a misery lounge, and they're just sitting right there, waiting for you to. It's just like at the club. They're at the club. They waiting. They patting the seat right next to them, saying, "Come on over here, come on over here." So they're in the misery lounge. So when they give you a test, make sure you pass the test. And the way that you know that you pass the test is if they get mad as hell, y'all. If they get even more aggravated. Oh, Vaughn says, love you, Miss Alice. Is Miss Alice getting out of here? I have to go, y'all. Another great conversation. Everyone stay blessed. Stay blessed, Miss Alice. Have a great night. I appreciate you and thank you for coming in. And y'all, I think I'm about to get out of here too, because it's been like an hour and a half. And y'all know when it's an hour and a half, that's my long live right there. An hour and a half. I try and do an hour or less. An hour or less. But sometimes we go like what? An hour, 8-10 minutes, something like that. And every now and again, we hit that 1.5 hour mark. So I do truly appreciate you guys for coming into the live. I truly appreciate you guys for wanting to drop nuggets in the chat, because that's what we've all been doing. I don't make the live. We make the live. The content creator makes the live. And I think sometimes content creators need to say thank you more to the subscribers, whether they fall into the chat or not. But especially for those of you who are also content creators and subscribers who support and fall into the chat, just say thank you sometimes. I think sometimes we just, not to say that they don't appreciate it, but I think sometimes we need to say it. We need to say it. I like it like this over here. The chat is small. We get to have a good conversation, and as I always say, if you come into this chat and if there's somebody in here that you don't set horses with, like my mom used to say, if you don't set horses with, meaning you don't get along with them, please just ignore each other. Just ignore each other. Because like I always say, sometimes we live in a house with our mate and we get mad at our mate, right? Y'all, or we get mad at our parents. We get mad at our kids. We walk around their house for 2 weeks barely saying a word. But then you have people on social media, they get into the chat and they act like they got to throw subliminals. Oh, I ain't say nothing to them. Well, you threw subliminals, and everybody knows what a subliminal is because a subliminal has a definition, and the subliminal is meant for a person to pick it up and see what you know what I'm saying. So they're like, I didn't say their name, but come on now. You know that there's a situation, and everybody knows who you're talking to. That person knows who you're talking to. So y'all, if there's ever anybody in this chat that you don't get along with, that you don't set horses with, don't leave the chat. Just at the most, at the least, ignore each other. And at the most, maybe you'll leave out of the chat at least cordial. You know, maybe at least you'll leave out of the chat at least cordial. So yes, we try to be positive over here because I know that we all have our battles daily. We have daily battles. So I want y'all to be good. I want you guys to remember peace, positivity, and prosperity. Without peace, there's chaos. Without positivity, there's negativity. Wherever chaos and negativity live, you fail to prosper to your fullest potential. Don't let stressed out people stress you out. At home, at work, on these apps especially. If something is going on and it's stressing you out, leave. Never leave with more stress than you went in with. Just don't let bothered people bother you. Don't let bothered people bother you. And don't y'all be out there bothering nobody, okay? I know. Look at where Vaughn is. I know Vaughn. Look, y'all, Vaughn got that. Vaughn, I'm like that too. Everybody like that. We like a little drama. And sometimes you like to irritate people sometimes. But we got to remember, a lot of these people we don't know. And you just don't know what people will do these days, you know? And most importantly, you don't want to stress yourself out. like you don't want to stress yourself out because no matter how much we say, oh, it's just an app, they ain't in my real life. If you argue with somebody or you get mad with somebody or y'all get into it, that's going to take a toll on you. It's going to take a toll on you. So you just have to, make sure it doesn't take too big of a toll because you can't tell people how to handle their situations, right? You can only encourage them to try to make it work out for the better for them. You know, try to make things work out for the better for you. And trust me, I know it's hard having patience because my patience are short. They are short. They are much better than they used to be, but they are short. So I love each and every one of you guys. I'll see you guys somewhere, I'm sure, tonight, probably out here in these YouTube streets. Because again, nobody's perfect. We all like a little drama. We all like a little comedy. We all like a little sports. We like different things. But it's just that sometimes when things become overwhelming or too much, then we need a break. We need a break. So y'all love yourself because before you can take care of that family, you've got to love yourself. You've got to treat yourself. You know how we do. We know how the natural state is. We're going to take care of family. We're not, when family calls or family needs, especially these babies, these kids, we're going to move. I don't care if your kid is 2. I don't care if they're a newborn. I don't care if they're 30 and you're 60. We're going to move for kids. But always remember to try to take care of yourself because you have to take care of yourself. You want to be able to take care of them. Okay? And look, I'm telling you, that counting to 10 stuff, that don't work for me. It never has worked for me. It works a little bit better now, but still, if I'm about to, go off, I'm gonna go off. So I try not to do that. So the counting doesn't work for me. So if you find yourself in that situation, find something to do that'll, deter that from happening. Find something to do that'll deter that from happening. Make sure that you expend your greatest energy on those people who truly love you. We don't want to argue with anybody, but if you're going to argue with somebody, let it be with somebody who's worth it. Okay? Let it be that you argue with someone who's worth it. I can remember my grandparents saying, fussing at us, y'all fuss like y'all can't stand each other. That's what they would fuss at me and my cousins, my sisters and brothers. They tell us that. But then you get out there with your friends and you love on them. Well, that's true a lot of times when you're growing up until you learn better. And now that I think about what in the world? Let me see. I can't believe it. What in the world? Is it one person really still on here? Y'all, whoever that is, hello. Look, whoever that one person is, it's like 9 likes on here. So give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. Sassy says misery lounge. When is it miserable? Oh, it's misery. It's gonna be misery lounge. Lines private fun. Much love, ladies. Had a good time. Let me see you lines. Great live. Okay, everybody was leaving. That's good. Phone just went all the way out, and it's still going. I cannot believe. Well, since it's going, I'm gonna let it go another 2.5 minutes. If somebody comes through here, hello, hello. I have to talk that bad side, that bad side of me down. Lord, so I wonder what happened. I wonder will it send out another notification or you know what? I don't know what it's gonna do. But I don't have to let it go all the way to there. That's good. If y'all come back through here and I'm gone, bye y'all.